off. Be right back. I'm just not on the ball. Sorry, guys. I'm running late. My dad's in the hospital, and I had to take a call. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Sorry, I'm running late tonight. So I'm kind of a mess here. Hold on. Voila. So yeah. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. Give me a second. I'm kind of a mess here. Hello, hello. I've got cords everywhere. Sorry, boo. My dog's like, what did I do? Hello, hello. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. Anybody want to talk? Anyone? Hello, hello. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Sorry, I'm running a little late tonight. I had a call that I had to take. So, my dad's in the hospital, so I had to deal with a call. So, if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. Cleaning my glasses, just like always. Always dirty right before a live. Never fails. Nashville, Tennessee. Is it Richard? Hey, Richard. Glad to have you here. You're just hopping on. Tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee, and I'll get started here in a minute. Just going to wait for a few more people to hop on real quick. Or see if we're going to plateau out. Looks like we are. Do you have a name from Pennsylvania? Okay, guys. Well, I'm just going to get started. It's going to be what's going to be. I'm running late. So if you're not familiar, Richard. Welcome, Richard from Pennsylvania, right? Glad to have you here. So if you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. From South Dakota, but living in Iowa at the moment, temporarily. So tonight, like I said, if you're new here, just tell us who you are, where you're from. I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. I had a call just as I was going to get on my live, so I'm just taking it all in. My dad's in the hospital, so my stepmom called, and so yeah. So give me 1 second here. I'm kind of a scattered mess, but so, like I said, my name is Renee. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Just a little bit about me and why I'm here. I started my TikTok in March of 2024. The reason I started my TikTok is because in September of 2023, my husband unalived himself. And at that time, that's when I discovered that I had abilities to talk to my spirit guides. Just a quick of my life. Basically, my husband and I were together for 32 years, never apart longer than 2 weeks. Bridget, I am not doing any readings right now at the moment on live. I might start doing mini read Wednesdays again. Check back in next week. I don't know what's happening. I have to check with my mods first. Give me 1 second though. She's the only one I'm going to do, by the way, so nobody else send me any other questions. I'm getting a yes. I don't know. Just know all the answers that you always need, though, are inside of you. So take whatever questions you get from a psychic back to the divine, and know that, follow your intuition. Anyway, so sorry about that. I'm just scattered. So like I said, my husband and I were together for 32 years, never apart more than 2 weeks, when he decided to check out. And so I never knew an adult life without him. Basically my entire world of 32 years crumbled. And so once I decided I was going to stay on this planet, because I wasn't sure that I was going to, I decided, okay, I have to find a way to heal myself, because my husband didn't leave me in a great spot financially. So therapy was out, and I'm the circle that don't fit the square. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Where are you from? I'm the circle that don't fit in the square. And so, thank you for that. Is it Rhonda? I know you follow me. Thank you very much for that and the badge. I appreciate that. Kingsburg, where? Rhonda. Okay, awesome. I'm glad I said it right. I hate it when I slaughter people's names. Thank you for the badge too. I appreciate that. And so, like I said, once I decided I was going to stay on this planet, I had to figure out a way to heal myself. And so I deep dived into meditation and journaling. And that's when I discovered I had abilities, and I had abilities to talk to my guides. Oh, California. I just came from California. Oh, thank you for all those hearts. I'm going to give you a heart, or the rose. Man, I am just not with it tonight. But I'm going to give you a heart anyway, because I appreciate that so much. Oh, wow. You hit my goal for tonight. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And so I don't even know where I was at, guys. I apologize. I got this phone call and it kind of threw me for a loop. So like I said, long story short, so my husband checked out, my whole world crumbled. I discovered I had abilities to talk to my spirit guides. When I started doing meditation, the first message I ever got in meditation was, what heals you will heal others. And so that kind of started me on my journey of, that was my first puzzle piece, I guess you could say, to my purpose. And so basically my purpose is to help other people through their loss and their trauma. And so they have guided me along my way into here. I only have 2 rules on my page. The first one is I just always ask that you be kind. The second one is we talk absolutely no politics here. It's not against one side or the other. It's not at all what my page is about. We talk about healing and loss and goals and life and all kinds of things. We just don't talk politics. Plenty other pages out there for that. So generally, I always like to say I'm on my journey of life where I am, and you're on your journey of life where you are. And none of us are going to agree on everything. And so we agree to disagree here. And so generally when I go live, my guide gives me a topic. So tonight we're talking about building a stable foundation, and that is in your life, right? And how important that is. So I forgot to mention, we are not shy here, so pipe in anytime. I can't guarantee I'm going to get all your comments. TikTok likes to hide them. I have all my filters off. There's nothing I can do about it, sadly. Some nights I get no comments at all. Some nights they filter every third, and sometimes they don't filter me at all. I just have no say in it. So if you really have a comment for me and I'm not reading it, that generally means that I'm not seeing it. So if it is really important, please DM me afterwards. I can't guarantee I'll get back to you tonight. Usually by the time I get off here and do what I need to do, it's the next day before I get back to you, but I will get back to you. So we're talking about building a stable foundation for our life, right? What does that look like? Defining your identity. Do you know who you are, right? I know before my husband passed, I didn't know who I was. And like I said, we are not shy here. Thanks, Jen, for the badge. I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm running a little behind, a little scatterbrained. I got a call from my stepmom. My dad's still in the hospital, so bear with me tonight. And so I didn't know who I was, right? We're not shy here, so please pipe in. My page depends on your comments and you interacting with me. Who are you? Where are you going, right? It's kind of hard to build a foundation if you don't know who you are. I built a foundation, but it was built on living in survival mode for many, many, many years, right? If you're just hopping on to tell us who you are, where you're from. So, do you know who you are? Where are you going, right? Spiritualist shares her journey to help others heal. I'm just reading the AI. That's a whole new thing. Yes, that's kind of where we're at. So who are you? Where are you going? One of the big things, you know, in order to establish that foundation of who you are is being completely honest, right? Being completely honest with yourself. And sometimes that's tough. That's tough for people to go, you know, maybe I'm not where I want to be in life, and maybe I'm not the person I want to be. You know, I admit all the time, you know, if you're new here, I'm the resident guinea pig here. My guide use me is, I'm the guinea pig. My life is out there for the world, right? I use my life to help people and my story. So, I've been very open about, you know, at times I was kind of a shitty person, before my husband passed. And, you know, I was just starting my spiritual journey and discovering who I was before my whole world crumbled. And, but just being honest with yourself of, you know, really taking a good look at who you are. You cannot build a good foundation if it's built on you being somebody that you're not, you being fake or a shitty person. So it's imperative that you be 1,000% accountable and truthful with yourself when you're going through this process of figuring out who you are and building a foundation for your life. Because if you don't, your foundation isn't going to be stable. It won't. You know, eventually it's going to crumble. Especially, you know, I know people who they wear a mask. You know, the world doesn't know who they really are, right? And so one day that's going to come crumbling down because who they truly are going to show, right? Everything in the dark comes to light eventually. Pamela, thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. So yeah, so being 1,000% honest with yourself, you know, are you a good person? Are you being a good person? Letting your intuition lead you. Figuring out what are your values? What matters most to you, right? There again. Are you living a life for others because of what others think of you or say about you or want you to live, right? Are you being 100% authentic to what you want? I wasn't. I didn't know who I was, and I was always being somebody that I wasn't, because I felt that I had to. That's just the life that I lived. I mean, I was a little bit myself, you know, but in some ways I was living behind a mask, trying to live up to what somebody else wanted me to be, right? And that's hard. It really is hard. So be honest with yourself, take the mask off, and build that stable foundation before you can build any of the other things we're going to talk about tonight. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar and you missed it, my name is Renee. Welcome. Today we're talking about building a stable foundation for your life. And just know too, it's never too late, right? I'm not sure who's sending the hearts. I can't tell. But it's never too late to start over. I'm 51 years old and I'm starting over. You know, okay. I thought it was you, Jen, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, it's never too late to start over, right? You know, yeah, just do it. My life fell apart when my mom passed. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. So if I could talk tonight, how has that changed you, and are you in a good place now? Like, have you started over, or have you started rebuilding? Where are you at in that process? If you don't mind sharing. Sorry, when you comment, I do like to ask questions. Of course, you never have to answer, or you can answer, you can DM me later too if you'd rather. But so after it fell apart, did you start over, or where are you at in that process anyway? If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. Thank you for the follow, Mama ×3. I appreciate that. Do you have a name of where you're from, Mama ×3? Okay. So next is physical foundation. I'm trying to start over. It is tough. Boy, do I hear you. I understand. You know, I'm like almost 2.5 years out, and I'm still struggling a little bit. I'm working on it, right? But the big thing is going through that healing process. Leslie from Seattle, welcome. Glad to have you here. Tonight we're talking about building a stable foundation for your life. The biggest thing is are you healing from that passing of your mom? Because you cannot build a foundation. You'll have a rocky foundation if you're not healing. That's the question, right? So are you in the healing process so that way you can work your way back to that stable foundation? And I'm just going to waiting for your answer. I'm going to keep going, but keep talking to me. And I love that. It's great. Physical foundation, right? You're trying to. Okay. Well, just know that's what we do here, and that's what I do. And so if you need any help with that, please let me know. If you're not familiar, I also have a YouTube channel under Scorpio Medium. I usually mention that towards the end, but under Scorpio Medium, and you can go over there and check out my past lives. I have all kinds of topics from grieving and how to deal with loss and all of that stuff. If you know, you need a resource. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to message me or hop on here. I have a great community. We can help you. So just let us know. Okay, so physical foundation, exercise. Are you moving your body regularly, right? That's part of it. I know a lot of people think they don't need to exercise or move their body. You should move your body. What my mom always told my grandma is so right. Now my mom says the same position. If you don't move it, you will lose it. So moving your body, that's part of another brick to your foundation. Exercising, sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? My foundation was already crumbled when my husband passed, and then that summer I was lucky if I was getting 2 hours of sleep. I was going to work on 2 hours of sleep, and I was ready to have a nervous breakdown. And my bosses finally said one weekend, they're like, Renee, you're going to take the time off, and you're going to rest. Turn your phone off and go to sleep. Because, sorry, my dog just got up here. Because I was turning into a basket case. I literally was working, like I said, on 2 hours of sleep, and that was a regular thing. 2-3 hours of sleep. I would sleep an hour, be awake an hour, sleep an hour if I was lucky. So getting enough rest, that's hugely important. And I just wanted to add something to that real quick. So we're going to talk about that really quick. And no, we're not. We're going to decline. I don't like to co-host, not at the moment anyway. Eventually I'm going to start co-hosting with people, but okay. So what I just thought of too is water. Are you staying hydrated? That I struggle with that, right? So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. Today we're talking about building a stable foundation for your life. And so we've talked about who are you, where are you going? If you don't know who you are, or you're putting on a mask to the world and you're not being 100% honest with yourself, the foundation that you're laying of who you are is going to crumble. So you're not going to have anything else. Your foundation is going to be very unstable. So now we're talking about physical foundation, exercise, moving your body, sleep, water, staying hydrated. Did I say dehydrated before? Sorry if I did. But staying hydrated, that's hugely important. How are you eating, right? Are you eating well? Are you taking care of yourself, right? Are you filling up your cup first? Eating. Positive mindset. Do you have a positive mindset? You know, how are you managing your emotions? You know, that's all part of it, you know, up here, mentally, right? If you're not managing your mental health, as far as, you know, having a positive mindset or controlling those emotions or letting those emotions, you know, how are you navigating those emotions? And if you're not navigating them well, then that's someplace you need to work on, because there again, that's another brick in your foundation. And so if you can't do that, then yeah. My grandsons keep me positive. That's awesome. That's great. Thanks for the hearts, Jen. I appreciate that. Guys, if you could just tap that screen a couple times. I'm shooting for 5,000. I've never hit that yet. I didn't realize how important those hearts are, but they are very important. Okay, so positive mindset, overcoming negative habits, right? The negative mindset, keeping your mind in check. That's hugely important. Financial stability. That's one that I'm struggling with yet since my husband left. I'm working on it, but every time I seem to, get a leg up, it kind of gets kicked out from underneath me. So I'm working on it, but there again, that's part of the foundation. So what are some things that can help you with the financial stability? Budget, saving, right? Are you living above your means? And that was for me, as I took a step back, financially, so I could, I should explain. So I basically let my apartment go because I couldn't afford it. I was living over my means. I could not afford it by myself. And I tried the whole roommate thing, the daughter thing. None of that worked, right? And so I give up my apartment, So now I'm in my brother's basement at the moment, and it's not exactly where I want to be. But I know that long term, I'm not going to be here forever. But at the same time, that I will never build a sturdy financial foundation if I had stayed. What's Rockerville? Actually, this is my boss's, just bought that this summer. It's called Rockerville Lodge and Cabins, and it's outside of Rapid City, South Dakota. So a little shout out for them. They're great people, and it's a great place to stay. I was a housekeeper there for 2 summers, 2 seasons, basically, almost. So yeah, little shout out for them. So if you want to go to the Black Hills or go see Mount Rushmore, shout out to Rockerville Lodge and Cabins. Tell them Renee sent you. I can't guarantee, they probably won't give you a discount, but just tell them I sent you. They're great people. Joey and Cindy, they own it now. So anyway, okay, so back at it. So I knew that I would never have a stable foundation. I would never be able to build that stable foundation if I did not get out of my apartment. I couldn't afford it. So are you living under your means, right? If you're living above your means, you're never going to get to that place you want to be, right? So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from, and current history. Do you have a name and where you're from by chance? So a budget. I'm a budget girl. Saving. I know saving is really hard right now. Yeah. So do you have a budget, right? Or something that you're kind of following so you can live below your means so you're not stressed all the time, right? You can't have a stable foundation if you're stressed all the time. DC, welcome. Glad to have you here. So there again, are you living under your means? Emergencies, right? Like I don't have, hey, user Butch Green, blah, 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 blah. I don't know all those numbers. Atlanta, Georgia, welcome. Glad to have you here. Emergency fund. I don't have any of that right now, right? I'm still building my foundation since my husband kind of took out the foundation for me. So my world crumbled and I'm still working on that, but never give up. It is possible, and here's the thing, guys, is I'm a true believer in thinking outside the box, right? How can you make extra money? How can you live under your means? How can, find ways to do these things? Yes, I do. We just bought a house. I save money all the time, and I'm from Tennessee. Okay, well, welcome. That's great. There's so many people that, they got to keep up with the Joneses. They're wearing that mask, right? They don't have a stable foundation because, they're keeping up with what everybody else, heaven forbid, we don't have the boat or the car or the camper, or, whatever it is. And I'm not saying you can't have those things, but if you're living above your means, you're not building that stable foundation, and you're going to be stressed and all of these things, right, that come into that. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Okay, so savings, emergency fund, like I said, I know it's hard, especially when everything is the way it is. Okay, so relationships and spiritual well-being, right? For me, I struggled many years going to church, thinking, struggling to have that personal relationship with Source, God, whatever it is you say or believe, Creator. I don't say God, but I do believe in a Creator. I just don't say God because actually there was many gods. And that's a whole long story. I've just been down many rabbit holes. and there was many gods, so which one are you referring to? So I just say the divine or the creator. Like I said, I believe in a creator, I just don't call it God. But whatever you call it is fine. You know, I'm not here to push my beliefs on anyone. And so, you know, I struggled for years going to church, thinking I was going to have this personal relationship and putting on the mask and pretending to be somebody that I wasn't, you know. And once I started going down my spiritual journey and discovered that I had abilities, I have a closer relationship now with my creator than I ever have, right? So for me, it's a personal relationship. It isn't a building. It isn't, you know, whatever. Like I said, I do me. This is my channel, my opinion, right? We agree to disagree here. Okay, so do you have a relationship with the divine? Do you have a relationship with your divine team, right? Are you asking the divine and are you asking your divine team for assistance, right? We all have a divine team. Most people don't know that because we're not taught that. You have angels and guides and ancestors and, you know, passed on loved ones, whatever, you know, and they're there to help you. But we also have free will. So you have to ask them to help you, right? They can, to a certain extent, they can guide you, right? So ask them. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you. So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you guys can keep tapping that screen, that would really do help me. We're at, looks like 1,700 and I'm shooting for 5,000 tonight. That would be great. So let's see, building genuine friendships, right? I have discovered, especially since my husband passed, that, you know, it's about quality, not quantity anymore, right? We always thought, oh, you have to have lots of friends. Well, my circle is very small now. I have, you know, one really good best friend and a few close friends, you know, but for me, it's about my peace and it's about quality, not quantity. Sorry. You know, it's not about having lots of friends. It's about having true people, true relationships in your life that you can count on, right? Rhonda, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Being consistent with all this stuff, whether, you know, and it's hard because it is a balancing act, right? It's a balancing act of, you know, keeping yourself healthy and spiritually healthy. And it is a balance, but all of these things go into that foundation. And so if you let, you know, some of these things go, you're going to have a crack in your foundation. Hey, Douglas, again from Kansas. How are you? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Tonight we're talking about building a stable foundation for our life. So being consistent daily, right? And that's a struggle sometimes. You know, doing things daily, like today, for instance, I was up at 6 a.m. and I got a call from my cousin at 7. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just kind of lay here and relax and scroll and get ready for my day, you know, for about an hour, 45 minutes, and then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do my daily routine that I'm trying to get back on and be consistent with. And then my cousin called and talked to me for like 35 minutes, and then before you know it, it's 20 to 8. And then, you know, and things in life just rolled like that all day. You know, and then my daughter called because she's having some issues and she needed to talk. And before I knew it, it was after 11:30, and I had gotten my messages, thank goodness, before that, but I hadn't gotten them out to any platform yet. I had gotten messages. That was the extent of my morning. And it's like, okay, I have to get in the shower. I have things to do, you know, and it was 12:30 before I even got out of the shower and ready to basically start my day. So some days happen like that, and it's okay. Give yourself some grace, but it is important to be consistent, right? If you tell yourself that you're going to exercise or you're going to work on your budget or work on whatever it is that's going to make your life better, be consistent, right? And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself when you're not. You know, I know that I'm not. I know that I've been lax about my, you know, meditation and things like that. You know, of course, I can hear my guides, so I get the, you haven't been meditating, right? And so So yeah, just, there again, be 100% honest with yourself and admit when, okay, maybe I failed today, but tomorrow's a new day. Let's start again, right? Okay. Be adaptable. Let's see. First, let's back up real quick. Having dedication to your actions rather than quick fixes also, right? Just being dedicated to your own life, right? Being adaptable to that. Like today, I had to be adaptable. Other people needed me at a certain time. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm not quite sure. Do you have a name and where you're from? So learning to be adaptable and being flexible. Okay, so today I didn't get everything that I wanted to do. I am in Iowa at the moment, but I'm from South Dakota. But at the moment, temporarily, I'm in Iowa. Where are you located at? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Is it Pauline? Thank you for the follow. And where are you from? If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. And my name is Renee. Welcome. Tonight we're talking about building a stable foundation for our life. Right now we're talking about, being flexible. You're learning how to do maybe a new routine or just sticking to that routine. Like I said, give yourself some grace, be a little bit flexible, but don't let yourself off the hook completely either, right? If the whole week's went by and it's Sunday and you haven't done any of your routine that whole week and you've just been sitting on your phone scrolling, be accountable to yourself. I think we all need more of that. Just learning, like I said, be 100% honest with yourself and be accountable. I'm horrible about scrolling and I'm trying to be better, right? And so, yeah, I'm learning to go, no, I should be meditating instead of sitting here scrolling. Yeah, so be honest with yourself, be flexible and adaptable, but don't let yourself off the hook either. Life is about decision making. Sometimes we have to make a decision, right? Like this morning, I wanted to get my dishes done and there was other things that I was planning to do, but my daughter needed me and life just happened. You do that too. And so, you know what? I had to go, I was wearing the mom hat today. And so my dishes and some other things that I needed to do today waited because my daughter needed me and I'm mom, right? Let's see. And lastly, being dedicated to your personal growth. What does that look like? If you feel stuck or stagnant and you're not happy in your life, you're the only one that can fix it, right? And that looks like, growing. If you're not growing mentally or spiritually, are you listening to podcasts? What are you doing do you need to heal yourself? What does that entail? Where do you need to grow? Where do you need to evolve? I personally believe as people, we should be growing and evolving all the time. And if you're not, and some people are perfectly happy not growing and evolving, but where are you going in your life if you're not? Just my opinion. Like I said, my opinion, my page. So evolving and growing as a person. Does anybody have any questions or anything else they want to add to that? Anybody? Yolanda, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Well, I'm waiting to see if anybody's got any comments. Reminder again, I do have a YouTube channel under Scorpio Medium. So if you're not a subscriber over there, I would love it if you went over there and subscribed. Like I said, all of the videos that you find here are uploaded over there. The only difference is when I go live, I do upload all my lives over there. So if you enjoy my content and you enjoy my lives, go check out some of the past lives over there. Yeah, they're all over there on my YouTube channel. I am here at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, right now, Sunday through Wednesday. Kind of looking at going back to mini read Wednesdays. I'm not sure what that looks like or what that all is going to entail yet. I'm still kind of working out the kinks and I got to talk to my mods and all that. So yeah, Thursday nights, if you are grieving somebody, I appreciate that, Rhonda. If you are grieving or know somebody that is grieving or you're struggling with any kind of loss and you feel alone, don't feel alone. That's why I created this Zoom. So I do a Zoom at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so if you're interested in that, DM me, email me, whatever, get with me and I can give you that dial-up information. So today is Wednesday, so tomorrow night I won't be here. I'll be on my Zoom meeting at 7:30 Central Standard Time. For anybody who feels alone, that's dealing with loss or grief, that's where I'll be at. Readings. Yes, if you didn't catch it, I am a psychic medium. Unless we start doing mini read Wednesdays anymore, I do not do any of that online at the moment. So if you would like to talk to somebody who's crossed over on the other side, I do offer half an hour sessions and hour sessions. Oh, good. Yeah, please join us. And I think I give you that information, didn't I? If not, get with me and I can get you that dial-up information. It's the same every week, so you can just keep it. So yeah, like I said, I offer readings, and I can't share right now, but I did take some other stuff on my plate for next week, for about the next week, plus I'm doing a craft show in a couple weeks, and now I just added I have to go back to South Dakota for 3 days. So that's all going to be between now and the 21st of next month. So I will be a little busy, but I do have a few time slots open. So if you would like to connect with a loved one, please email me. My email is down in the bio. That's how I set those readings up. Send me an email and we can set one of those up for you. Lastly, I have a Venmo down there also. So if you would like to leave me a tip, never expected, but greatly appreciated. It does take time to create this content. Yes, you do. Okay, I thought so. It does take time to create this content. And so if you would like to help me out, and like I said, and leave me a tip, those are always greatly welcome. My Venmo's down below my bio also. And then just one more thing I have added as in March, starting in March, if you're interested in just some monthly inspiration, I'm going to be sending out, starting an email newsletter. I'm hoping to have those out on the 5th of every month. So if you're interested in receiving an email newsletter, shoot me an email with your email or an inbox or something. Get your email to me. I'll need to have those by the 2nd of March for this month, so that way I can get everything organized. So let me know if you're interested in getting, just like I said, just a monthly dose of inspiration. I'll figure out a topic for every month and we'll have, you know, some funnies in there. And yeah, let me know if you're interested in that. It looks like that's all I've got for tonight. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? Anybody had a loss that they want to talk about? I know I haven't taken a breath. Breathe, Renee. Anybody? Any questions or anything for me? Like I said, we're not shy here. Pipe in. Going once. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Going twice. Anybody? Oh, we're so close to our goal. We're at 3,300. You like listening to me? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, and if you're interested, go over to my YouTube channel. I have lots of past lives. And I talk about grieving and loss and all kinds of stuff over there. But yeah. Okay, guys. Well, it doesn't look like anybody else is going to comment. So, like I said, I won't be here tomorrow night because it's Thursday. I'll be on my Zoom grief meeting, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be back Sunday. Give me some grace next week, guys, because I added something to my plate, but it's going to help with some future goals. So if I'm not right on here at 7, don't freak out. I will be here. On that note, I hope y'all have a great night. I will see you on Sunday night with a new topic. And until we meet again, remember to make tomorrow great, because it's a choice.